Good morning, afternoon, or evening, or should I say, good Friday. Anyway, as I'm not religious, so apologies to anyone that I've just offended by co-opting your religious festival for the sake of a cheap pun. This is the last that you will hear of that. So let's introduce now our hosts. So we have, I'm just trying to load some backing music for this, which I should have done in advance. And it's too loud, so I'm going to pull that down. But it's pretty smooth, which is good. Okay, so Jim and Alistair, how are you guys?
I'm really
we're
good.
good.
We're broadcasting. This is good.
Yeah, we are. Okay, actually, I wasn't supposed to do that, so this has gone just as badly as I expected. So let's pretend none of that happened, and I'm going to now introduce you in a more kind of boxing style. Okay, so up first we have the pistol from Bristol, the West Country warrior, and the commentator who is uncommonly good. It is, of course, Jim Newbie Rush Kogan.
Greetings. The pistol from Bristol. Seriously.
Yeah. So there you go. And you got a round of applause as well from the studio audience. And on top of Jim, we've also, not literally on top of Jim.
Jesus Christ.
If anything, it's the other way around. No, that's not what I meant either.
Hey,
no,
come on now.
Just Alistair is on the south side of the globe, is what I meant by that. So Alistair will be adding. Oh, this has all gone wrong, right? So adding some Antipodean magic to proceedings, we're going to have the man, the legend. He's the Tasmanian devil, the Australian assassin, and he's also the Southern Hemisphere's most popular Zero AD YouTuber. He is, of course, Alistair Findlay.
Hello, I'm here.
You're here.
You've been working on that, mate. That's good.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known it from how badly it went. But it was supposed to be slightly different. And I even rehearsed it as well this afternoon. So disappointed I wasn't able to actually do that correctly. But, next time I'll have to come up with some new names, unfortunately. And it took like weeks to come up with the ones that I came up with. I was pleased that Bristol rhymed with pistol, though. So that was pleasing. Yeah, so today's theme, as per the poll, about 34% of people went for the tier list. So I will now put the tier list on screen, and we can have a brief chat about that. So, what did you guys think of the orders that we had? And yeah, what did you think of the orders that we had, basically?
Who wants to take that one first?
Yeah,
I agree
one of you.
with it.
You agree? That's good news. So,
Like this,
yeah, are there any that jump out? So we have had, for instance, Yekaterina, aka Kate0AD, has she said that she thinks Carthaginians should be much higher, and having had time to think about it, I tend to agree. What about you guys? Have you used Carthaginians much? Do you think they should be much higher? If so, how much higher? Or if not, then they can't go any lower as far as they were originally.
I've always avoided them like the plague, mostly because you've always been so down on them, I think.
Yeah.
So, do they warrant more investigation? That's the question.
I mean, I didn't really take into account, I have to say, that they were an archer faction, and I focused when I was doing it on the fact that the mercenaries are now so much more difficult to use. You've got, because they can't get involved in collecting resources. If you're relying a lot on mercenaries, you end up with an army that's just a bit, it can be. You've really got an army that is just an army, which is can be frustrating. So I was focusing on that. Also, they had the wrong sort of elephants, so their elephants weren't as good. But I think they're better than I gave them credit for at the start. And Yekaterina did absolutely annihilate me with them when I was playing with Seleucids, who were a second tier faction. Wait a minute, this is the. Oh God, I've put the wrong tier list up. This is the old tier list.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was wondering
right
about that.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, Britons and Gauls right up there at the top. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
wrong.
hold up. Yeah, okay, so give it a second. And I thought I hadn't made them bottom, but I was like, well, maybe I did. Okay, so yeah, that's the Alpha 23 tier list for people watching. Let's try and find the Alpha 24 one. I should have been more careful with
Well,
that.
that's good in a way. We get to see like how things have changed between the
Yeah,
versions, you know.
if I'd noticed more quickly, I could actually have transitioned that quite nicely. So let's look at what they were like, and now let's look at what they are like. But that's, I think it may have fallen down by now with that chance. Right, let's have a look at this one. Looks more like it. Okay, right. Let's see now what it says. So yeah, Carthagene's still in rank 4, which I think is low. And yeah, Macedonian Romans been big fallers. As you, yeah, I think we can all agree is definitely they're nowhere near as good. They've been nerfed really badly. Yeah, we've got the Mauryans and the Persians at the top, mostly because they're archer factions and they also have that plus 10% population bonus. I think Mauryans for me are absolutely number one because they have the worker elephant, which is just hugely useful. If you want to raid people, you can collect resources on your enemy's doorstep by using the worker elephant as a mobile drop site, which is just brilliant. So have you got you've had a play anyway for the last sort of month or so, haven't you? So yeah, what are the factions that you've been using the most? I mean, Jim, are you still Mr. Britons? You're determined to make them work?
For my sins, I am. I did try Morians a bit, and I do enjoy using them. I'm getting to grips with them a lot better. But I did that in the last one. I tended to pick the Civ that was classed as the easiest one to get on with. I did invest a lot of time in the Britons. So it seems like a bit of a cop out to suddenly jump ship as soon as another faction has become strong. It's not like I can get any worse at the game at this stage. So I figured I've invested this time in the Britons. They're still relatively good at the things they were good at before. They just seem to be not quite as efficient at killing people. So I'm looking into that. I'm finding champion units have definitely seem to have a lot more emphasis in Alpha 24. I've just covered a game where champion units absolutely swung it. Now, I'm not saying either player was a master player, but I'm coming to the conclusion if I'm going to stick with Britons and I am going to see if I can get more melee troops in and focus on their champion swordsmen are good. So that's what I am working on at the moment. I am really rubbish if I hop civs all the time because I just forget what each one is good at. I need to spend quite a few weeks practicing with one. So I'm still trying to find out what the Britons are best at in Alpha 24. Whilst occasionally dabbling on with the Morians when I feel like not being hammered by somebody like Ekaterina, as I did the other day.
Oh, so Ekaterina, well, she's just contacted us from the lobby. She's already in a team game, so I guess we've got a little bit longer. So that's good. But yeah, I think the thing with Britons, they're still very easy to play with. I mean, I've got them down as a second tier faction. And I think they can be still, still very, very good. And it's one of those sort of paradoxes where you have the much more simple structure tree. You haven't got as many different things that you do, so it does give you that sort of focus. That there's not a huge number of different ways to play with them. So you're going to mass up your slingers, you're going to mass up some melee troops, and just send them on their way with some rams in the hope that they'll start obliterating some buildings and certainly your opponents. So I think there's still a good option. I mean, Alistair, you used to play with Britain, then you turned into a Ptolemy's man. Are you
Yes.
still using Ptolemy's? I know I've played against you. I've forgotten what
No.
you've been playing with recently.
Yeah. Mostly Kushites, Mauryas, and there's another civilization which I can't think of off the top of my head. Another archer civilization. I've been
Persians.
playing with the archer civilizations.
Is it Persians?
Oh, Karth as well. And
Oh,
Persians, yeah.
Ah, so you've been playing with Carthaginians as well? Because
Yeah, Carthage good.
okay, well, I'm just seeing if Yekaterina, I don't, if she's in a team game, then she won't be able to demonstrate being. Oh, she's picked a terrible team game as well. For 1,200 players, she's going to be battering them. I think in lieu of that, then, Alistair, do you fancy a game? Jim can. I'll talk with Jim, and we can do the showcase the Tasmania map. I think some people have watched it.
Uh,
We had a game that was a bit ridiculous in a sense. Well, not in a sense. It just turned completely ridiculous, where you had one elephant, about 10 pikemen, and the rest of your army was healers, and it just I'd never seen anything like it.
yeah,
Um,
if it comes to some kind of ridiculous defense game, then I'll just call it at that point and just say, yeah, no, you're probably eventually going to win this.
Yeah, eventually, but it was just bizarre. I did make a YouTube short about it because it was I wanted to try and find out what YouTube shorts were like, and I did. Because that, oh no, she's going to resign actually, so you can play your Katerina. So
Yeah.
if she says she's going to resign, does that mean that she was actually losing against people that were not good? She actually played Borg today, and I caught the end of
Oh
it.
dear.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Borg is the top ranked player in the world by some distance.
How did that go down?
I only caught the end. I saw that she was in that. I was trying to prepare for, my earlier intro stuff, so maybe that's a lesson to me there. I should focus less on watching people that I know playing the game when I'm supposed to be rehearsing. Um, so I only caught the end of it. It was quite a short game, and at the point that I went in, Ekaterina's population was about 50, and Borg was on 150 and had built like at least one CC on her doorstep, and was just yeah, it was horrible. One of those things that no one likes to see that. Um, so hopefully, if she's going to resign her other game, I'll just see. Uh, she'll come in, and I think what would be good is that she can sort of demonstrate that Carthaginians are better than or than I've given them credit for by taking on Alistair playing with one of the uh, accepted archer civs, and she can play. Oh, Alistair's just joined the lobby, obviously. So when she's finished, yeah, we'll just get her to come in and play as Carthaginians. So Alistair, who? Oh, are you going to join the game? Oh, Jim's joined. Um, oh, I need to do that thing where I stop people. Sorry, Jim, I'm going to have to close this and I'm going to load it by limiting the number of people that can be in. Uh, so, right, and I don't know how to do that. How do I? Oh God, this is must do more things. So how do I limit the observers?
In the main settings, I
Ah,
think
observer
you
limit.
can
Oh,
do
it's
that.
set to 2. That's ideal. So that would be me and Jim. So ignore that. It was actually just fine. So I found it. Hopefully, Ekaterina will finish their game. Just so the people know as well, we will have a bit later on. Jim will be giving us the news, the 0AD news. It's and some of it is potentially quite exciting news about his own role in the development of the game. So
Shh.
yeah,
Shh.
exactly.
No spoilers.
Yeah. Well, it's a teaser. It's a teaser. That's all they're. That's all they're gonna get. Okay, I'll put her name in the. Oh, I actually know how to spell your Katerina. Arena. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so if you guys come in, it's called the Tom0AD game. Your Katerina, or it was. Is it still there? A lot of people in the lobby again, which is good to see. So, Alistair, you need to join, and Ekaterina needs to join as well. Otherwise,
Oh, Katerina's in and Alistair's in.
okay, fantastic.
And you need to turf me out as a spectator. There we go.
What have I turfed you out? No, you
No, no,
should
no.
still.
You need to. I'm listed as
Oh,
playing.
got you. I was like, no, we can't do that. Right. So you've got Alistair versus Yekaterina. I'm just going to switch over to the game, hopefully. Let's see if this transition works. Oh, it only has. Look at that, the first thing that's gone smoothly. So I'll just welcome her. Okay, I would call her Katerina though, that's not right. Katerina, oh my word. So yeah, the plan will be, Alistair, pick your civilization from the top, one of the top 2 levels. So you've got a choice of Mauryans, Persians, Kushites, Seleucids, or Britons.
Right. Oh, yeah, just Moyas then.
Just more. That was nice and easy. Okay, so you've gone for the undisputed. Well, I say undisputed. In my mind, the undisputed #1 faction in the whole game. And Yekaterina will be playing as Carthaginian, so I'll just let her know. Your how good Carthaginians are. Right. Okay. Let's get everyone ready, and then Jim can start doing his business. He can commentate the life out of this.
Well, I think we'll both have to. You're directing it, aren't you? Effectively.
Yeah.
So
that's
now I can't see what you're showing. So
that's true.
I think we might be a joint effort, but I got all the mods with all the populations and everything, so it should be all right.
That will be very useful. It's one of the. So sorry, just to say, it's the same biome we got rather annoyingly last time. Yekaterina's gone for the pop everyone in the civic centre and then jump jump them all out to their respective respective areas, like that, which is an interesting one. She's gone for a 1 person on the farmstead as well.
Well, I'm going to mute, so I don't know what's happening.
Okay, that seems fairer that way. So assuming that Alistair, I mean, he does listen. He'll try and pretend he's not, but he'll undoubtedly be attempting to sneak a listen to find out what Katerina's up to.
So Yekaterina told me she always gets 1 person building the farm, but gathers food with the other 3 while the construction's going to stop running out of food early on. I guess the test will be how she's doing after 2 or 3 minutes. If she's loads of food, miles ahead of Alistair, then we might have to consider that as an approach. Yeah, they might have to try it out.
It's interesting, isn't it? I've not seen that before. I have been looking at this sort of thing, just in terms of build orders and stuff. So I tend to go for, if you're on a map that's got multiple, you can see berries, 2 sets of berries at least, or fruit trees or something around, then I'll get the berry upgrade. Otherwise, I won't. And I would generally put 7 people on berries, which Yekaterina's got. Good choice. So I agree with that. Whereas Alistair has got 8 on berries, but he's got the 5-person houses. I really struggle with those 5-person houses, as opposed to the 10-person. Like, I just never seem to remember to build enough houses. It's really frustrating. But presumably, as Britons have those, Jim, you're like fully versed in that.
In the what? Sorry, in
the keeping your house building regular to the point that you don't find yourself being housed.
You've seen me play. I'm absolutely terrible at that. It's one of those things. You do so many commentaries on it, and you're always keeping an eye for when it happens, and it happens quite. It's easily done. When you do it yourself, it's an absolute sickener. I think it is to stay on top of that. Game after game is incredible. So no, I am certainly not an expert in not getting pop capped.
Do you only play with Britons, or do you also play with other factions, those that have sort of the 10 population boost houses as well? So either the Greek factions or Carthaginians would be one, or
I haven't tested any of them out in Alpha 24, and I think I road tested loads of them early on. But I seem to find, I think a lot of players, I don't know if it's just familiarity of the architecture. I think a lot of people start with Romans just because there is the assumption that Romans will always be strong.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Well, possibly not anymore. But I was. That is interesting. Are they really that weak? They are. If you go, they got swordsmen right from the beginning.
Yeah. So you're prone
Where
to
are they?
rushes.
Where are they weak?
Opening. At the very beginning, yes, you have the Lancer cavalry, which is good in terms of defending yourself from cavalry rushes, but you have swordsmen who are not good at defending you from cavalry rushes. So it's a tough one in that sense. I think the opening can be difficult for them. Plus, if you want to build a lot of swordsmen, you're going to have to start collecting metal, which means that you're not collecting wood or food with those units, which again will slow you down from getting to phase 2 because you're going to need to collect 500 food and 500 food and wood each to progress to the town phase. So that in itself, it slows you down. Their buildings are quite expensive. I can't remember the situation with their barracks or not, whether they're one of those factions that has a kind of uneven split on stone and wood. Because if you've got, say, Britons, their barracks just cost 300 wood, so you only have to collect wood. You would choose to collect stone as well because you would use that for the slingers, and then you can use your wood for houses and for barracks and things. But the fact is that it's very easy normally to collect wood as opposed to collecting the mineral resources. So that's where they're a bit slower at the start to actually phase up. But the other thing is that as you get towards the end, you've got no range troops with any reasonable range at all. You've got no slingers, you've got no archers, and that is a huge loss. Particularly, everyone knows now just how good archers are in the latest iteration of the game. They've had a massive buff, and that not having anything that can really counter them is incredibly difficult to deal with, I would say.
Do you reckon there's no natural counter for archers at all?
I was having a discussion actually on the Reddit page underneath the advert for this, I think it was, and someone was asking, or I was saying about that, and someone said that they use pikemen. So that's pikemen rather than spearmen because they're a bit slower, but they have double the armor.
Okay.
And that does make a difference. So he basically uses those as a meat shield, and then we'll have skirmishers or slingers or whoever behind them. Because the problem that you have with the archers, we were going through the kind of the change in the stats last time in the last stream. The issue is not so much that the archers have great strength, because it's still one of the weaker types of range attack. Like a javelin is nearly 3 times as strong, but archers have such a longer range, and now that their accuracy has been improved, that they get into basically a position where they're taking 2 or 3 shots already on any kind of skirmisher or slinger before that unit has even got to the point where they're going to actually be able to take their first shot. So lots of them are dying before they even get to throw an arrow or whatever back, and that's where the problem arises. I'm just
briefly returning to the game. Just a quick pop check at 6 minutes. 6 minutes 40. Alistair is coming in for a bit of a raid. It's but Katerina. My mod shows stuff being prepared out on the board, out on the field of play. It's 64 population to get Katerina versus 65 for Alistair.
Yeah.
But Alistair getting the first kills with his cav coming in now. But he's not going to get a lot of shit
back. So you can see the archers now, the range on them against these cavalry. If that were in Alpha 23, those archers would be mown down. They would have no chance. But you can see just how useful they were. Was it half a dozen archers, maybe slightly more, against those cavalry? If you're able now to kind of split out two attacking groups in the way that Ekaterina did there, then you can fight off raids quite easily, actually, if you've got archers, which you just wouldn't have been able to do at all in the previous alpha.
The population gap has closed. It was round 10. It's now just 69 to Katerina, 67 to Alistair. She's also got the slight advantage in terms of infantry. It's more or less even with Cav, 5 units for Alistair, 4 to Katerina. It's tight. It's difficult to see where it is. That one skirmish, though, Katerina came out at 3-1 in the kill-death ratio.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't seen a clear advantage from either approach. Whose development do you like the look of most at this stage?
That is actually not as straightforward a question as it might originally appear. So because Alistair's done such a great job of bringing the elephants in, now
he's also planning to phase up. Sure, he's got it queued up.
Oh, that's classic Alistair. Yeah, he couldn't have been more stereotypically himself if he'd wanted to. There, how many barracks he's got? He's 2 barracks and a cavalry stable going, ready for that. Yeah, it's him all over. So he's going for the early phase up. I've just kind of explained that's very Alistair. But what he's done really well, like the quickest way to collect food is not what Ekaterina has done, which is farming. That's actually the slowest way. So a farmer will take will take 1 second to get half a food, so half a unit of food. Whereas cavalry will collect much more quickly. I don't actually know just how. I think it's 5 units of food in a second, something like that. Okay, Alistair, Ekaterina saying please stop giving info. What? Yeah, okay. Ekaterina doesn't seem to be aware that Alistair's not listening to this. And that it's not really practical for us to commentate on the game without giving any information. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. We got a message from Ken Chu. He's loving this, so thanks a lot for that, Ken. Appreciate your support in the in the stream.
When I say I'm muted, I mean I've muted them. They can probably still hear me, but I can't hear anything. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, there you go. My little quip about Alistair probably cheating was just that. It was a joke. Don't worry, Ekaterina. It's fine. You're still probably going to win. I'm hoping that Alistair didn't hear that because it's actually not necessarily the case. But what we've got is, so the hunting's the best way to get it. So Alistair's done a really good job of drawing in the elephants. These were all outside his base. And he attacks them with just 1 arrow, which is not enough to kill them. It's just enough to get them angry. They'll then chase the person who made the attack, and after that they'll They'll just walk towards the civic centre as Alistair's using here, and that will mean that they are in the delivery time on the food is massively reduced. Now Alistair's doing something very strange here. He's put his market right on the edge of his border. Have you ever seen that before, Jim?
It's off to one side. He hasn't got a lot of, he hasn't got much happening at the back. So I think it was just a question of getting the market down. I'm surprised. It wasn't his first building to put down. He started on the temple a little bit before.
Yeah. Interesting choice.
I think it's going to be out of the firing line. I don't think Katerina's going to be making a beeline for it. Just interesting. We are 11 minutes 35 seconds in. Yep. Katerina has now slightly fallen behind in terms of population. 108 plays 120. Alistair's really put his foot down. She's now going to phase 2 right now. Yeah. Lots and lots of food. So I don't know. I'm coming to the conclusion that farming perhaps might be a little more efficient than it was in Alpha 23. I do need to check it more, but same game I was covering at the weekend. The person who had all the hunt always seemed to be having less food. I know that they were more or less level populations as it's been in this game, but that is an extraordinary amount of food that Ekaterina has managed to stockpile. She is now hunting elephants near the base, but
yeah, I think
for not having much of a population advantage, having all those elephants walk straight into the base, you would have thought. I don't know, maybe Alistair is just better at balancing all of the resources together. It has not resulted in a huge population lead, though.
it's not. What does it look like in terms of cavalry? Does Alistair have a lot more cavalry?
15 plays 4.
So yeah, he does have a fair few, and they're hunting for wild. You can see, you possibly can't see Jim, although you would be able to see it if you. He's drawn an elephant.
I see everything, dude.
He's got a very slow elephant labouring its way at, almost no speed towards his base. So his horses went and attacked it, and they tried to attract this elephant in. He's now moving them backwards and forwards as if he's trying to attract the elephant's attention. It is going to get there, but it's going to be a while. So, yeah, I'm wondering just how much more quickly this is than just actually killing the elephant if you have to wait for it to walk for half an hour to get anywhere near your civic centre. What I was going to say though, which I think is particularly for Ekaterina, is that you shouldn't really have that level of there shouldn't be a situation that arises with that much food available, because as you've kind of mentioned there, it's about the balancing, and if you've got your resources in terms of particularly food and wood should always be relatively low, because you should be basically trying to just transform that into population as quickly as possible. So if you've got a lot of food and wood, that means that you should really be building more barracks so that you can start utilising.
We have a raid from Alistair coming in.
I can see it. Okay, he's managed to get a kill. He's got the spearman, and the spearman's chased him off. So
there's no easy targets down that side, is there? There's no soft targets.
There's even to the bit which is mostly female citizens on sort of the south side of the map, or on your screen, Jim, because I know you like to have it split done through 90 degrees. It will be the east side.
I've got Alistair at the top and Ekaterina at the bottom.
So it'll be the west side of the map, which is where Alistair's attacking now. Has he got sword cavalry?
Let's have a
look. It says raiding cavalry.
No, they're just raiding cavalry, I believe.
Yeah, they are swords.
Are they swords?
Yeah, they are swords. I always get it. I wish that just sword cavalry or javelinier cavalry was in the name. When they say raiding cavalry, I, like you, they always assume, oh, that must mean they're the skirmishes, the javelins, and they're not in this case. But that's a really good use of a combination. I think he did have some range cavalry in there as well, but they did a little bit of damage.
He's had some success. It's 11 kills for the loss of 6. I wondered why those didn't tally up. It looks like one of Alistair's troops somewhere has fallen foul to a rogue elephant. So so 5 kills for Ekaterina and 1 kill for a rogue elephant. So Alistair's lost 6, but he has now got there's still nothing in it population-wise.
He could be moving to phase 3 and he's not clicked up. Oh, that's so frustrating. It's been a fair few minutes and now he's used the resources that he could have used to be phasing up. And I think had he phased up then, he's used it to build another civic centre, which is... it's just as you would have it again, Jim, in the west side of the map, and it's right by some metal, and I think it will also pick up the other metal that's on his current border, so the two borders should join together.
I think he's gone after the berries because he's running out of elephants now. There are more coming in, but he's only got one field on the go.
Yeah, he needs more. Absolutely.
He is a bit close to the front line for gathering berries, but possibly.
Well, I see the berries. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much he's done. A good job of, bolstering the people that are building the civic centre, and he is going to phase 3. Is Yekaterina close? She's got, again, the potential to go there. I feel like she should have built more barracks. I'm just going to have a quick look at, yeah, her resources. She's got enough troops there, or enough resources that she could have built 20 soldiers. And obviously, the situation that you have then is if your 20 soldiers are already spawned, they're collecting resources. So it's not as straightforward as, oh wow, if you just saw how the mini-map changed, Alistair has indeed
that is
joined
an
up.
enormous amount of territory he's now got, isn't it?
It is, and he is claiming that metal, which is going to be absolutely critical. So that's going to give him rams, and it's going to give him war elephants. That is a brilliantly placed civic centre. Really, really good piece of.
Katerina does have, it's in neutral territory. There are 2 deposits of metal just to the side there. Just definitely aware of them now. She's just been in scout, no, still hunting. It just depends which way Alistair is going to try and expect. Is he going to try a whole sort of strangulating, sort of surrounding flanking maneuver here?
He absolutely could do, and if he does, that is going to make things very, very tricky for Yekaterina. Is she actually phasing up yet? She is phasing up. She's now building a 3rd barracks, but she really needs to get bowed up. She's getting all the upgrades though, so she will have got. Once she's phased up, she'll have all of the phase 2 upgrades, which will mean that her soldiers are in a great position. She is attempting now to build a civic centre exactly where it would have been great to see Alistair. Well, I'd say great because, well, you know, he's one of the co-hosts of the stream. So much as I like to remain neutral, he's one of us. So it's not possible to completely keep your feelings out of it. But at the same time, obviously, it's good to see Yekaterina play as well. So she has 3 barracks now. She's building cavalry stables.
There's an army incoming. I think this could be denied. They're making a beeline straight for it.
But it's the archers again. You can see how many horses they take out before the horses have even thrown anything. So it's archers versus archers. 25 for Alistair. Only 11 for Yekaterina, and she's given up on it.
Weight of numbers, needs reinforcements.
But I thought she was forcing an attack down the other side, but she's not. What it would be really good to see Alistair do at this point is try and grab some of his other soldiers and pop a civic centre basically around here, which you can't see, Jim, which is just between those 2 pieces of metal. If he were able to utilize, this is how you deal with archers, by the way. I'm just telling you, the way Yekaterina's doing it, that's exceptional.
Has Alistair not got a blacksmith? Have I missed it?
I don't know, actually.
I think he is losing out here because his troops are weaker.
Yeah, he has got a
blacksmith. He had numbers, but he has he?
Yeah, he's only got the first. He's got the first archery attack, and I think he's.
I see it.
But he hasn't got any of the archery armor. What do you call it? The range armor. And Yekaterina's going to finish that civic centre. That I felt that he could have used his archers to continue the attack while he brought up the rest of his army to build a civic centre and claim that territory, because that metal, particularly with the fact that Yekaterina is going to be relying on mercenaries a lot, she's going to need a lot of metal. And Alistair still hasn't hasn't trained any elephants, which he could have done. He's been a bit tardy there. He's got plenty in the way of resources. I'm not sure about that location of the fortress. I mean, yes, it will protect that civic centre, I suppose. So actually, I take that back. That is a good one. I would have liked to have seen a more aggressive fortress. He had that the advantage of being at phase 3 first, and he could have really pushed.
You reckoned Carthaginians, they get elephants? Did you say?
They do, but I wasn't particularly knowledgeable of elephant taxonomy, whatever it is, but Indian elephants are significantly larger than African elephants. And as the Carthaginian Empire was across North Africa, they have the smaller elephants. So when in the old game, when people said they had elephants, it meant they were basically identical. There was no difference between those elephants. Now, however, the Mauryaans, who were based in the Indian subcontinent, have Indian elephants, funnily enough, whereas the Carthage elephants are less good, and that will probably be why Ekaterina has chosen to make rams instead.
For rams, yeah.
So she's taken over one of the what do you call them? She's taken over a storehouse, and she's trying to take over a farmstead as well, but that's probably not worth it. They're going to die. Alistair, interesting. He had those 2 barracks very early, and I expected him to create a lot more barracks, but he hasn't. And I think he may well suffer for that. Does he have swordsmen? No. He's got a ram, but is very slowly taking down his fortress while his workers just carry on collecting wood nearby.
He must be aware, surely.
I don't think he is, and I don't think he's built any swordsmen. Has he got... Oh, whoa. He does, however, have 6 elephants on the way. So
okay, sneak them out quick.
Yeah, maybe he was making elephants all along, and I just didn't realise. That's very strange, but this is...
They're heading in the wrong direction, so I don't know if that is a misdirection, or is he still not aware, or is this a go for broke?
He's done absolutely nothing, and they're just watching it. If the fortress goes, then the civic centre won't be far behind, and he's not even shooting at them with arrows. He's just doing absolutely nothing. I know that people have complained about the game in terms of the what do you call it? The sounds are less clear. I know that I was playing a game and I lost my civic centre and basically everything. I thought I'd won the game. Finally knocked down the other guy's civic centre, only to find out that everything.
Ekaterina has captured his elephant house.
Oh my word!
So you could see Ekaterina was just destroyed the fortress, is about to go in on the CC. It looks like Alistair is going to do exactly the same to Ekaterina as well, but in the middle. He's got it back now. That was a very short-lived capture, I think.
So she's built a thing, losing that CC, but now he's got a lot of elephants. He needs to get those in. Ekaterina has got none of the Phase 2 upgrades, so he could deny her, the Phase 3 upgrades. He could deny her those by knocking down the blacksmith. He's not done that. Also, these extra tall houses, he could knock down those, which would take 20 off her housing population. And the thing is, Alistair's got plenty of soldiers back. I think, actually, it depends. There's still a lot. There are 5 elephants. It's going to be... How many are left? Still 4. One's gone. They're finally starting to attack the civic centre, but it just takes them so long to get there. If he had made rams here, I would say that this is absolutely down. It's going to be very, very tight. Oh, no, I don't think it's going to happen. So close. 9:30, 8:31. No, they're gone. And the rams... he's finally got some swordsmen. No, he isn't. He's got his citizens, female citizens, actually. Yeah, this is the problem with archer factions. You can get to the point where you kind of forget that rams are basically impenetrable to arrows. And you have to... But he's also got his archers. They could be building, repairing that elephant house rather than just shooting arrows impotently at... into the rams with no impact whatsoever. What's happened to his sword cavalry? If they all died, he really needs to do that.
He has only 2 cavalry units left, so they've all been massacred somewhere. Most of what is out there appears to be archers. I don't see very much that's going to stop the rams.
And there's nothing that's going to stop these sacred banners.
Ekaterina has an elephant of her. It's a hero elephant. He's got a Hannibal. Hannibal. How do you pronounce that? I can never. It's Hannibal Barca. Yeah. So this does not.
Barca?
I say Barca.
I don't actually know. I just know he crossed the Alps. So good for him. He's quite the hero in that sense. So let's have a look. Like Yekaterina, what about Yekaterina's resources looking like? Oh, her wood is non-existent. So she's been making, a big play with the army. She's making a push, but she's not going to be able to reinforce it, basically, in any way whatsoever.
I don't know. I think this could end up being enough. The archers are going to support the elephants. There's nothing that's going to be able to get.
But they've both got quite a few archers, and he's pulling more and more people. Yeah, it depends. He's got the advantage of the temple as well, so he's being healed.
Alistair's only just getting the armor upgrade.
She's right.
The other having to pull back.
And Hannibal Barker, just for people to remember as well, once that hero dies, it's not like Alpha 23, you can't resurrect them. That's it, that's the end. So she can't afford to allow Hannibal Barker to die. Equally, Alistair has to take him out. And he's pulled his archers back at just the wrong point. Oh dear, Hannibal Barker survived, although Hannibal Barker's going on a suicide mission.
Get him out of there!
97,
Get him out of there!
80, 78, 72. Oh, is it going to happen? 64. I wonder if Alice has actually noticed how... Oh, he's let him go. 50 out of 1,500 health.
Guys, how could you... It's an elephant.
Yeah.
It's right there.
And it looks like, based on comparing it to the other African elephants, it looks like they imported an Indian elephant for that one, because he's much bigger as well.
I was always under the impression that African elephants were physically bigger than Indian elephants.
I'm assuming they're not, because they're not in this game. Unless I've just managed
they're much more docile and easy to control and manipulate, apparently, Indian elephants. So I don't reckon it's a physicality thing that you very rarely see anybody utilizing an African elephant for anything, whereas Indian elephants get used for all kinds of purposes. Like,
well, I did not know that. You learn something every day as a school day, or every
there you go.
Friday night stream. I learned something new, and what I've just learned now as well is that the North African elephants are actually the bog standard template of the old elephants. They're neither got reduced or enhanced characteristics. So the Carthaginians have like a halfway house. They have better than average elephants, better than the African elephants, but worse than the Indian elephants. I think they're the only faction that has that. What are we looking at? Hannibal Barker's managed to get his health back up to 109, which is still not.
He should sit this one out and get safe and get healed, really, isn't it? This is
definitely have spawned a load of healers. She's, I'm assuming, still very, very good for food. That's where Alistair's struggling at the moment. He's only got 6 fields, which will not sustain an elephant-based attack at all. Oh, Hannibal Barker's going to die now.
There it goes.
Yeah, should have set him to run away and don't die as your thing, as his status, and built a temple near the back.
Yekaterina's trying a bit of a flanking maneuver here with 2 sneaky elephants.
As is Alistair, but in the opposite direction.
I'm pretty sure Yekaterina must be aware of that. You'd have to say they were right stood in front of them. If she's lost track of 4 of them, that would be inexcusable. These guys are stealth elephants. They're hiding amongst their brethren on the other side. I could see them getting away with this, but
you can see just how much smaller they are, though.
Yeah.
These are African bush elephants. If those elephants, they're bigger, and I don't understand. Maybe it's completely the wrong way around. Or this is, if you can claim that house, that is actually a big win on a map that you're going to struggle to get wood, and Yekaterina's balanced her economy significantly better, at least as has Alistair, to be fair. But he seems to be kind of in an all-in attack or all-in defense. The elephants are coming around now. They might.
Yekaterina's got 15 archers waiting just south that can be called upon if she notices that they're there. There's 4 of them. Might need more than 15 archers, I don't know. But they're all idle at the moment. Yeah,
he's not. He could have taken out the siege workshop. He's not going to try and take the CC again, is he? It's been.
He's going for broke, yeah.
The siege workshop's producing rams as well. Getting rid of that would have been a huge. Oh, you can see the ram just popping out behind the elephants. But she may well. The problem that you get in these sort of situations is that you're. Oh, Alice has noticed the elephants coming after him. Has your Katerina noticed the same? Because the alerts, it's very difficult to deal with because you're just constantly being told, oh, you're under attack. So your assumption is it's the fight that you're watching. I think they're going to take them out. They will take out the civic centre. If Alistair can push on, this could be game, set, and match. If he can then get another civic centre up, he will claim a huge load of territory.
Katerina still seems to be the more lethal in a fight at the moment, but how significant is that going to be? Can she make another CC?
She's got
doesn't have the resources at the moment.
She doesn't have the wood. Oh, this is
doesn't have the resources.
Well,
she lost control of the market yet? Can she trade like crazy?
Yeah, has to. I mean, the price of wood is through the floor, as you would expect. Yeah, Alistair that should have been his next target straight away. Neither of them have produced lots of barracks, which is really interesting. It's something that I've really noted the top players, more so than they used to in Alpha 23, just spamming out barracks. It could be because the training times have been, increased. They've just said, yeah, we need to get these things going much more quickly. I need a lot more of them so I can keep producing soldiers at the same rate. But what's she going to do? Well, she's got a lot of people that are holding wood. She's carrying 47 wood. She needs to get that deposited somewhere.
Still 205 short of a CC, despite raiding the market.
And Alistair needs to make the most of this. This is the point where she's going to be at her most vulnerable. So I would.
Does he have? He's got new elephant house at the back. More war elephants coming out. It's still pretty even on population.
Yeah.
Katerina has a ram and 2 elephants hidden off to the side.
Yeah, lovely animation on the elephants with their ears flapping, and they've now stopped doing it. Just at that point, it was lovely animation, and will be again if they do. So, she's collecting up the wood required to do that. Is Alistair?
Yeah, CC is going down now.
Is Alistair going to claim this place? He's completely vacated the centre of the map. My word. What are the populations looking like, Jim?
It is 142 to Alistair, plays 129. Alistair has about 10 extra infantry. 98 plays 89.
And he's sending his elephants down the centre of the map. I'm not sure about that one. And he's sending them back again. So yeah, that's sensible. He's not.
It's an expansion on the side. There's another CC going off this time on the opposite side of Katerina's territory.
I would have liked to have seen that a little bit closer to the centre of the map. Could really have put a marker down and claimed, well, basically 3 things of metal. It's a little bit passive. Also, I think the barracks are all they only cost wood for Morians. So again, like, it would be good if he could get a few more barracks down. So there are still plenty of trees on the map, and you can see the CC's done an excellent job of claiming those. If you can get
Katerina tried a flanking maneuver on the far side with the rams and elephants, ran straight into a load of archers
and gave up.
So I think we could be hitting the kind of stalemate type situation that Alistair warned about,
which would be unfortunate. That wouldn't make for great viewing.
It would be a glowing endorsement for the Carthaginians, though. If this is the strongest, they're up against the strongest civ, so say. It's been nobody's really gotten on top of the game.
No, I think I'm just going to check. I'm sure I set it up with 300. Yeah, it's a 300 max pop, and no one has got anywhere near the max pop.
Do they know?
I assume so. That's 300's the standard. Okay, have we got? Has he built any swordsmen? Alistair just continues to build archers, it
see?
seems, which is fine apart from the rams. He needs to get those rams. He's
Yeah,
starting to
see?
get a bit more metal in. He's got, he's going to have an excellent economy for wood, which is great. So
Yeah,
yeah,
see?
let's see what happens. He's got some healers as well. From
He's built
somewhere.
palace on the far side, so I don't know
Yeah.
whether we're going to see champion archers now.
I don't know. I would
If
like
you want to
to
beat archers, maybe get better archers, possibly.
Yeah, that seems a. Like, if the English language means anything anymore, it must be that better means better. So if you've got better archers, they should, by definition, beat worse
Yeah,
archers.
see?
Let's hope. Right, so we've got.
That didn't ring true for elephants, did it?
No, nothing rings true anymore. It's a postmodern world, Jim, we live in.
See?
Let's see how if Alistair can claim that area of territory. If he were just to put a tower up, a fortress, something, he would make an excellent. Yeah, he could make a really claim that centre of the map, which he's not doing at the moment.
Yeah, see?
He's going for the hero, who I definitely can't pronounce.
Yeah, see?
I'm just trying to see
see?
what the what bonuses it gives.
The Mauryan heroes are just dreadful. All of his archers are waving at a storehouse, so they're going to die. Oh, they finally realised, and what was about 15 or 20 has become 4, and his control over the centre of the map is completely gone.
He is quite ahead in population. It's 178 plays 134. I'm not convinced the centre of the map is the strongest place to be in this game. I think the flanking manoeuvres here could possibly be the undoing of the opponent. I think
you're absolutely right.
It's just attritional in the middle, isn't it? Everything that goes into the middle cancels each other out, and you end up with a pile of bodies. So.
And Alistair can afford those bodies more than your Katarina can at the minute. I mean, he's got access to a lot more wood as well. Your Katarina, she's only got a handful of trees actually within her territory, and Alistair is plundering all of them. He's got a lot of people sat idle as well that could be gathering stuff.
Yeah, see?
Your Katarina's doing exactly what I would have liked to have seen Alistair do a bit earlier, in that she's building a fortress right in the centre. What do the numbers look like? The numbers say Alistair should win this, but upgrades and what have you, we'll wait and see. He's built another barracks finally, so that's good. Ekaterina's got all of the range upgrades. Oh, Alistair's got every upgrade now, apart from Toledo Steel, or whatever the Mauryan equivalent of that is, which makes your swordsman better, and the hack attack. He's not gone for that, which is fair enough because he's not got the troops that are going to use it, really.
I think just getting winning those small kind of almost attritional battle, he has carved out. This is the biggest lead he's had in the game. It's now nearly what was it, like 90 to 193 plays 117. Finally, I think it's swinging his way.
It could well do. It certainly looks. It looks good for him. He's got again still. He's got 16 archers that are just sat there. Now's the time to really. If he were to put that fortress up, I think. Does he have 1,000 stone, Jim?
He does. He's got nearly 3,000.
So he could build a fortress right where Ekaterina was just having one, and that it would. Yeah, it would just make it so difficult for Ekaterina to get her troops out. Oh, we've got. Alistair's been. Central troops have been completely surrounded. He's got huge groups of soldiers that are just sat idle, watching their compatriots die. He's finally bringing them in, but with the number of archers here, bringing them in batches is not a good idea. So it looks like Alistair might lose his hero, who is a healer hero. And the healer's managed to make sure it's healing precisely 0 people by just making sure everyone's out of its range. That now should be sufficient for Alistair to turn this around. Okay, while your Katarina is going for an elephant attack, or is she pulling back? What's going to happen?
It's happening now. The elephants and the rams are going in. There are lots of archers over there and the healer, so I don't give them much chance of that happening. But
not the elephant, but the archers will have nothing against the ram, and he's still got nothing defending him against the ram. That ram will very, very slowly and irritatingly knock down that civic centre, and he should be pulling his other soldiers in, collecting wood and whatever to actually be repairing that civic centre, because if he doesn't get people repairing it, it will go down, and there's absolutely no reason for it to be going down at this point. No reason whatsoever. That's just slack, and he's lost a civic centre for no reason. Oh,
the advantage he has now, though, it's nearly 100 lead.
So he needs to just...
This is it's kind of like hit and run guerrilla warfare. Ultimately, they're going to get crushed. It's I have been quite impressed with the Carthaginians, but
he needs. They've certainly more than held their own. He just needs to get these.
He's not had it his own way, has he? It's been a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, how many soldiers is that? All your Katarina soldiers just up there?
She's got 72 of them in the local area. That's only part of them.
Well, she's quite fortunate because Alistair's troops have all decided to wave rather than do any attacking. So yes, he's taken over that.
I think you could be right. It's 27 infantry now. I think that is the sum total of your Katarina's infantry right there.
Okay, well, what Alistair needs to do is just keep on churning out soldiers, which he's forgotten to do. But he could win this now if he just stops forgetting to churn out soldiers. Where are your barracks? Okay, he started churning them out again. Get your... what have we got in there? Yeah, he's starting to produce elephants. I think this one...
I think that is an admission of defeat by your Katarina that I have failed Carthage.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we've seen a very good game. I'm just going to ask if she'll resign, because I don't really want to watch. Yeah. Just don't want to watch the final bit. As just... yeah, nothing much happens. God, I've just realised how passive-aggressive my that was really supposed to be much more polite. That looks awful.
Resign. It's over.
Yeah. That's really quite harsh. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Okay. Very harsh message. Yeah, poor language use on my part. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Right. So that... Interesting. Alistair's done a great job. Is Alistair back?
I am, but I am going just for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. I was hoping to go just for a minute. So, wasn't possible. Okay. Right. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to get a different backdrop. You can transition to anything, it seems now. I'm going to do... Yeah, I'll do the nice one, which has got sparkles on it. So, once Alistair's back, someone... Oh, well, we've got a guy. I'm just going to read through the chat. Actually, it seems like a nice thing to do. Someone has said, yeah, bro, you are actually British. Yeah, that's aimed at me. I think that's true.
That could have been aimed at me as well.
That's true. Yeah. Paul Cath, oh my bad, there is the voice. I don't really know what that means. But yeah, Cleric Onion, that's not Cleric Orion. Sorry, Cleric Orion, you're not Cleric Onion. Yeah, they made a Faroe Islands map using the guide in my last video, so I'm very happy.
That is fantastic. That is superb. Should we do a quick bit of analysis of that game while we're waiting for Alistair to return?
let's do that. I'm going to go back. I'll have to go back into the replay and try and get the summary up. Give me the summary page, and then I'll need to go back into the game. Right. So we've got the summary page. So on page one, you can see in terms of Alice's economy, it was miles clear, and that's really where he won the game, was the economy. What are your key takeaways, Jim? And I'll try and click the right button so that people can see it.
Well, first of all, I'm going to have a look at. Well, let's start with the scores first of all. As you said, it's a total. Not a great deal in it. It's ultimately, I'm trying to read this now. My contact lenses in late in the day. It was that 14,099 to Alistair versus 11,929. As you say, the economy was slightly stronger come the end. Not much in it in terms of the military or exploration. In terms of units trained, I will also bring up another chart which I've only really recently noticed has actually been added to Alpha 24, but I'll come to that in a minute.
Are you?
I'm in charts now. I am looking at units trained.
Yep.
Yekaterina's approach at the beginning does appear, we were wondering whether it was productive or not. It does appear to have been slightly advantageous. Phase 2 definitely looks like it belonged very much to Alistair to begin with, and then there's almost a complete switch.
It really is.
The chart that I would like to look at, if you go down to miscellaneous and population, this is something that I've been... I could not understand why there was not a live population count chart in 0AD. And this appeared, and I only noticed it completely by accident. So you do get to see what the comparative populations were at different points in the game. There is not a huge amount of difference. The first lot of combat was, I would say, won quite clearly by Yekaterina, and then round about the 30-minute mark, it turns completely full circle. The first confrontations were when Alistair was did not have the upgrades. His population dropped to almost half that of Yekaterina's, but turned it around. A rearguard action, I think, is what you would call it, possibly.
It did. I think he did a very good job in the end. There were points where I felt that the game was getting away from him. But what he did do well, I think, what he did better, I'd say, than Yekaterina, was just to try and get some kind of control over the wood. It really felt like he managed to clear out the areas of wood where there was. And on that sort of map with that biome, it's very, very difficult because the way that the trees are spaced out, to have a good solid wood income. You end up with your woodworkers, that's not actually right, is it? Forestiers? I don't even know what they're called. Lumberjacks, whatever they are. Woodcutting people.
They're lumberjacks and they're okay.
Yeah.
They are okay.
They absolutely are. Oh, is that Alistair? Have you rejoined us?
Yes, I am back.
Ah, fantastic. I was just saying, I don't know how long you've been there, but I think your control of the wood on the map was what swung it in your favour. Yekaterina, you knocked out that CC, which was an excellent, obviously, move. Always useful to do that. And the fact that she couldn't get the wood together to rebuild it and to repopulate is what caused her to lose it. How did you feel playing against the Carthaginians? Did they feel like a fourth tier faction, as I decided they were, or do they feel like a second tier faction that Katerina thinks they are?
I do actually definitely agree with Yekaterina that they are at least a tier 2 civilization.
Whoa, at least you're going potentially beyond. You're going as far as they could be a tier 1.5, like on a mezzanine floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it on a gee. I mean, like one of you was saying earlier about how the champion units are starting to show themselves, and I think that was what I was waiting for in the meta of 0AD was something like that to happen. And it appears that champion units, like my archers were very strong, but they took like 40 of them about 20 seconds to defeat one champion unit, and like all my attention was just on these champion units, these little triangle underneath units going around the place, you know.
Yep, that is. Yeah, they are incredibly, incredibly strong. Like champions, I think moving them from the barracks, sorry, from the fortress to the barracks, seemed like quite a small change, but I think it's had a massive impact on the game. Like for me,
Yes.
the fact that they're there and I've got 5, 6, 7 barracks, whatever, and I know that I can churn out champion units at a reasonable rate rather than having one fortress with the champions in and waiting, 3 minutes for my group of 10 to come out or whatever.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it completely changed the whole the whole thing for me. I am just going to go and get another drink, so I'm very thirsty. So Jim can talk you through a bit more about what happened, and then after that, so after the break, I suppose it will be a very short one. We'll get ready for Jim's news. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Cool, thanks. So, how do you feel that way? That was it seemed to be in the balance for quite a lot. Did you feel you always had that, or did you have a nervous moment partway through?
Honestly, I had it the whole game.
Oh, you liar! Get out!
No, dude, I controlled the wood. I got the resources. I had the game. That's just it.
The
That was my
wood
main
is
focus the
interesting.
entire game, was just getting that wood.
The stats don't lie. There is clear control of the wood supply there, where there is a long stretch where Yekaterina doesn't hardly gather anything.
Yeah,
At
when
one
I
point,
saw
you
that
took some
Yekaterina's
pretty
unit, okay, sorry.
excessive losses.
Yes, yes.
You weren't nervous then at all.
No, not at all. I saw that Yekaterina still had trees inside of her civilization boundary, you know. And as soon as I saw that, I knew I'd won. That's pretty much it. Like,
Cold-blooded killer.
I'd already
That's all
got
I
the
would
ones
say.
inside of mine. I'd already got all the wood inside of my civilization boundaries, and I was having to expand to get more wood, whereas Ekaterina was still getting the wood inside of her civilization boundaries. I mean, I don't know, like I was just able to train more units because of that.
Well, sorry, I'm not sure. Maybe Jim's mod showed it, but she didn't, when I looked, have any of the upgrades for collecting wood, which just on
Right.
that map to me seemed like madness.
That's actually the number one first thing that I do, especially on a map like that. I just get that first wood upgrade. I don't get the berries upgrade. I used to get berries upgrade. Don't get that anymore. I get that wood upgrade. That's my number one thing.
And that's a good choice, I think. Yeah, my thing doesn't show it, unfortunately. But to segue very nicely, let's have a look. This is going to happen. Are you ready for?
I want to just
God,
say
sorry.
though, like when I say that I felt like I had the match like pretty much the whole way, I don't want to take anything away from the skill of Yekaterina, because like some of those army placement, the micromanagement in being able to prevent my pulls. Like I was very often trying to pull her units off wood lines towards the bulk of my forces near the temple, and she was just always on that every time. She's like, no, you're not pulling my units away. I'm bringing them back. I'm getting them back out of here. No. Like she absolutely plays a game which is higher than her rating would suggest.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I've already said that she hammered me previously, and I think it was yesterday. She took a very different approach actually than she did to you. She basically roared through the phases. Like I think at about 12 minutes she was at phase 3, and I was still kind of pootling along just into phase 2, quite happy with the number of soldiers that I had, not expecting her at that stage to basically have rams. So she built a fortress right on my front line. Then I looked, it's like, oh my God, there's rams coming. I've got literally nothing that can deal with this because I'm not at phase 3 yet. And that was it. I just resigned. It's like, well, what's the point? So she is definitely a very, very talented player, and she's someone that she will go up the rankings, I'm sure.
Yeah, like she has an ability to control a wide range of units, and like she knows. I would probably definitely say that she knows more about the game than I do. It just so happens that that wood strategy makes up for my deficiencies in knowing about the champions and things like that. Like that was the same thing with me. Like when I saw those rams coming out towards me, I'm like, oh dear, here's this. So it's glad that I'm happy that I've got a stables to get out 5 sword cav real fast. Otherwise, this might be a problem.
But it wasn't. Well, it was actually. You did lose a civic centre,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
but a good game nonetheless. I am going to move us along now because what I would like to show us, what we have time for, is, and this is, if this works, this is going to look sweet. So I hope you guys won't get to see it, but watch it on the stream. This is good. All right. So yeah, it's time for Jim0AD's News B Rush, which is now I'm very, very pleased with that, and you also may have recognised a slightly higher pitched version of "Ain't Talking About Love" by Van Halen. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this bit just to. I'm missing out here. There we go.
if you put the stream on, you could you'd see it. It's got a little slap effect as the news overwrites where it says "new" on your
Yeah. It's just happening. I'm just seeing it on the stream now. Very good. Very good.
Thanks, Alistair. Appreciate that. Um, I could, I won't. I've made various intro things for both of you guys, but yeah, I thought I'd go with the clapping and the other stuff this time, but we will have that in future. So, Jim, what's been going on in the news?
Well, this isn't all the news by any stretch of the matter. This just happens to have been the news that that caught our attention. We'll start with a proposed top player tournament of 0AD. Alas, is not happening. There was tragically, there was talk on a forum that the current top 8 players would partake in a tournament. I think it's been, if I remember rightly, some of your early shows, you did actually do some tournament you covered a tournament that did seem to get most of the top players. I can remember Valorant and I think it Stockfish were involved in it. Was that?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So Stockfish was the overall winner of that, but that was because he competed every week. So Valorant and Borg were both in there, but they both missed 1 week. So because Stockfish played every week and he won the weeks that Valorant and Borg weren't playing, sorry, I think they missed 1 week each, but they were different weeks or something. Anyway, he basically, Valorant won every single game that he played, but didn't play enough games. Is the thing.
Yeah.
So this is a tournament.
This is a bit of a problem. The like the more fragmented, the more convoluted a tournament gets, the less likely it is that all the competitors are likely to be in it. The people organising it are going to sort of stick with it, and these things tend to peter out quite. They sort of die a sad death in the end. I know I've only commentated on one tournament, and I don't think it reached a conclusion, which is quite sad, really. Why is it, do you think, tournaments are so difficult? Obviously, the reasons I've given there are part of them. What would it take to produce a successful 0AD tournament? You could say money. There'll be a prize.
I think one of the difficulties that we have is that we don't have the hugest user base, but if you're taking the top 8 players, the number of different time zones they're based in already makes it very difficult. So if you've got people, I'm looking at the various people that were on there. Actually, it's not as bad this time. But if you had someone like Badasu he's obviously in Brazil, but then you've also got people like Valorant who's in Latvia. So very, very different time zones. It makes it difficult to get people all together and guarantee. And I think as well, I'm not sure there's actually the demand for it from the best players. They're kind of, if one of them proposed it, or there was going to be some kind of clear something that makes it worthwhile doing that. But I just think there's not really the demand for it from that. I think there would be for for people to watch it because people love watching the best players. Understandably, the same with anything, football, regardless. So
Absolutely.
yeah, shame.
One of the suggestions that was briefly floated in the thread, and I think it's more fanciful than anything else, was these 8 players. Obviously, their schedules are going to be different. So competing in a round robin tournament or something like that involves multiple games. The odds of
Word.
that occurring is
Yeah,
not very likely.
gotta be zero.
But there was talk of an 8-way free for all.
Oh wow, yeah. I've just seen
which
that.
would be the most mental thing ever. I can imagine commentating on that. That would be crazy.
I've no idea, but it got positive feedback from one person. It was the last message was basically saying, "Yeah, go with it." Um, yeah, I think that would be a really interesting one. Maybe you'd have 2 semi-finals and then a final, like 4v4, and the top 2 players from each go through and they go to play off in a 4v4 free-for-all. Sorry, not 4v4, 1v1, but in a 4-way match. I think that would be easier to deal with. I think 8 is just vast. But yeah, interesting ideas. But yeah, sad that it's not taking place. I think that could have been good, and Borg was very interested. But there you go. What do you have next for us, Jim?
We have Alpha 25. So it appears that Alpha 24 has only just dropped, and all the focus now seems to be on the next iteration, Alpha 25, which I think the impression we're getting is, and certainly from my point of view, I'm finding that it's perhaps not correct to view each new alpha as, I don't know. Some of them are quite major events, like the transformation in Alpha 24 has been quite major. Alpha 25, I get the feeling, is going to be more of a sort of a minor upgrade. Small things balanced out, small things changed. It's not going to be like a marquee release, I don't think. It has brought the sort of the dev cycle purely into, quite solidly into focus recently. I'm just thinking, what do you guys think about the, what would you say, there's a fragmented and unorthodox dev cycle of 0AD? Does it work in the modern era? I know it's an open source project and they are volunteers. We've been speaking to Stan from
Yeah.
Zero. We did a bit of an insider's guide, and it sounds like it's been just as, you hear about crazy crunches in the private sector in IT development and stuff. This sounds every bit as brutal as as anything you would get out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has done. I mean, I just, again, from my own perspective, just like to say thanks again to Stan for all the work that he's done. He's been absolutely superb in terms of getting it out, and and all the people that have been involved as well. Stan obviously is the one that kind of puts his head above the parapet a bit more, so we obviously know more about him. But I think they've done an incredible job. But I think, yeah, what you say, I think is right, Jim. It's the the way that the cycles are. I think the cycles were relatively consistent, about a year, um, as I recall. And then there was this big gap for Alpha 24, and the number of changes that have come in make it feel like a new game. It's very, very different to how the switch from Alpha 22 to Alpha 23, for instance. Uh, the things that happened, there were kind of the technical stuff behind the scenes improving the game engine, but other than that, it was, cavalry cost an additional 10 wood. It was little things like that. It was tiny, tiny changes. None of Kushites were introduced, actually. That's obviously quite a big thing. But there weren't the changes to the metagame that there have been this time, which has just essentially turned it into a brand new game. It's, yeah, bizarre in that sense. So I don't know is the short answer as to what extent it works or not. I know that I enjoy Alpha 24 as much as I enjoyed Alpha 23. But I also understand there are people that didn't expect it to make quite as big a change. And I know from your perspective as well, Jim, it was frustrating how it was just kind of dropped on everyone. We didn't know what
Yes.
was going to come.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit lukewarm on Alpha 24, and I did worry whether it would work as a kind of a spectator sport, seeing as
Yeah,
that's kind of what I do on YouTube.
yeah,
Having got the mod sorted out, I, I I think the sound could be a little bit more exciting, but other than that, I think the drama is still there. It is still quite exciting. It was still pretty exciting watching Alistair and Yekaterina duke it out. So as a spectacle, I think it's worked. It has provided new dynamics. Um, Alpha 24 itself, because there were significant changes promised, and there was perhaps a little bit of miscommunication along the lines as to what it would be, whether it would fix or not fix certain things. There did seem to be that perhaps there should have been a sense of occasion to it, and ultimately it didn't have one. It just appeared almost. If you were
yeah,
looking in the right places, you might known it was coming. But the right places, I think, were quite well. We're just below the surface, but yeah, it is evident that 0AD works a little bit differently. You have to kind of understand how the dynamics of it were, and I'm still trying to get to grips with that. I think. What do you reckon, Alistair?
I'm pretty much of the same opinion as you. Like, and at the same time, if if it were up to me, the amount of things that I would change about the way that the 0AD structure, like Wildfire Games in general, operates, the amount of things that I would change about it are huge. But at the same time, like it currently works, and they say don't fix things that aren't broken.
yeah,
But at the same time, like, I have a strange and probably quite different perspective on it than most people, considering that for the months leading up to Alpha 24, I was playing Alpha 24. I was building it from source, and not everybody does that, I understand.
that's true.
And and so like I had a bit more knowledge about what kind of things were going to change. Although, even though I say that, a lot of things changed in about the last week. Like, I think there were a lot of things that were planned but just hadn't been put on the public repositories yet or something. I don't know. But when Jim says, "Oh, it just kind of appeared," I 100% feel that it did just kind of appear, and like when when it was posited, when it was said that maybe it could be like code frozen for a week or two beforehand to say it's coming out on this day, get ready for this day. And one of the developers said something like, "Oh, but then we'd have to stop work on the next one." I'm like, I don't quite understand. There must be something technically behind the scenes that I don't understand, but I feel like they could just freeze Alpha 24 code and then start working on Alpha 25 right then and there. I don't know. I don't know at
Yeah,
all.
I also, yeah, I don't know. It's strange. I guess it's one of those things that, from kind of our perspective, we just don't, we don't have that same insight that the developers obviously do, and it's, there are a lot of people working for free, so it's tough. And I know that certainly, as Jim was saying, the 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 sort of promotion of it and everything, it just appeared, and that's the thing. There was a lot of stuff going on. I started because I was kind of, we were all waiting for it for so long. I got to the point where I started just going through all the changes that were being proposed and just seeing as they were signed off, and then making videos about those to let people know what was going to be coming. Um, and and that didn't cover everything, but it did cover quite a lot of what had happened. But I was, even with that, following it quite closely, was still kind of, what? Where did that come from? I didn't expect it to just drop that way. And yeah, so that's that. What's your final news take of the day, Jim?
Well, this filters in quite nicely. Obviously, We are just starting to get an insight. I would say a bit of an insider's insight into how the dev cycle works and the mysteries of that. The flip side of that is what the public see, the people who are not developers, the people who play the game and perhaps absolutely don't care about the development cycle. It's the community engagement, it's the PR, and this became quite a thorny subject this week. And this was all my fault, I believe. This was not good. It's something that I wouldn't say has been sort of needling me a little bit. We all do YouTube. You have to do a bit of self-promotion. You can't be the artist all the time. You have to sully your hands a bit with the marketing, and you have to go on the social media a little bit. And much as though I'm sure we all hate it, you have to put yourself out there and advertise and try and reach as many people as possible. And I've always been under the impression that 0AD as a project, if they didn't want people playing it, it would be a closed alpha, small group of friends, and it would never see the light of day. But it's out there. But one of the things that has slightly been needling me since I've pretty much started playing it, certainly since I've been doing YouTube stuff, is how little official communication goes out through the more mainstream channels, such as social media, things like the official YouTube channel, the official YouTube channel of 0AD. The pull that would have if it had content appearing on it, even on a semi-regular basis. I've always thought this was a bit of a missed opportunity. And I raised this particularly, I think I was probably still a little bit narked about the fact that Alpha 24 seemed to magically appear without much fanfare, without too much warning. And I, not for the first time, raised 0AD's policy on community engagement and PR. And quite a long forum thread broke out. And it has sort of resulted in... how would you put it? I suppose it looks like I might possibly be doing some PR and social media work for the 0AD project. I may well be getting hold of some of the social media accounts and actually having to put my my money where my mouth was, I guess.
Yeah, well,
I'm of the opinion that it's not a question. The developers that were in the thread, the attitude seems to be the only thing people would be interested in is the development side of it. And that is absolutely not the case. That's probably going to be the minority of the news that goes out. You will probably gather a bit of news on the development of the game maybe once a month, if you can get as many developers as possible to give you something solid that they're working on and the progress and what's happening. The rest of it is just putting out to the public that the project is alive and well, and that you can play it, that there is a community, and it's a friendly community, and it's a good community, and it's here, and we're still going. And that is what I think community engagement, and to the wider people, maybe people who've never come across the game, public relations should be. And that is kind of what I'm hoping I'm going to get an opportunity to do with it.
and we would be absolutely delighted if you do. You obviously got the passion for it, and that's going to be very, very important. We've just actually got a message from someone called Ruben. You may be Portuguese, you may be Brazilian, you may actually be neither of those, but I'm going to pretend you are and pronounce your name that way regardless. So yeah, they've said they've been working, developing and maintaining source code, and so they understand developers, and that wearing another hat for PR on top of all the rest is not an easy task. And I think from our discussions with Stan, absolutely we agree with that. It is
I think to do both it would be hell. I don't know why anybody would even want to do it. You know what I mean? I feel passionate about dev work. It's probably the last thing you want to do. So I can understand how the situation has come about. What I was having a bit of trouble with is, if you're the developer, you want to do developing, you love doing development, you don't want to be doing PR. That just says to me, right, we need to get somebody to do PR who wants to do the PR, not the not a lot of reasons why we don't do PR or things like that. It's a no-brainer. You've got to, if you're out there, you've got to do some public relations, or people will. Like one of the examples that I get is the number of times you see entries in things like Reddit or in the comments of your videos or my videos. People say, "Oh, I played this game years ago. I have not heard anything about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a dead project. It's still going."
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. I don't know. I think it's possibly a clash of different attitudes, of people focusing on what they're doing, and they know the project is alive, but it is about the project having a mouthpiece and projecting itself and reaching people and talking to people who are not necessarily dead, people who are just looking for a game as such.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty to cater to technical people, and it caters to them very well. There isn't much that caters to the kind of casual gamer, and that could potentially be a huge, a huge group of potential players for 0AD.
No, I tend to agree. I think that's absolutely right. Well, I look forward to, hopefully, if you do take it on, then I look forward to seeing, the results of the fruits of your labour. I'm just going to ask you, did you install the Tasmania map?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay, could you do that now? Because I was hoping to play Alistair on the Tasmania map and talk through it, but obviously you wouldn't be able to.
So if I don't have it, I won't be able to join, will I? That's right.
Yeah.
Hang on. Okay, I'm going to go on mute and try and install the map. I just stick it in the maps folder, don't I? That's all I need to do.
The file path will be under, I think it's mods. It goes into mods, then user, maps, skirmishes, and then there are the two files. So
is it the Tasmania or your new map that you showed? Was that your initials in the new map that you created?
yeah, it is. You could. I'm not going to play that one today, or I might do, I suppose. We'll put the Tasmania one because it's a map that I know that Alistair and I have played before. That we both enjoy, and it leads to good games, I think.
You might have to. I'm just trying to find it in the Discord. There it is. Tasmania map, got it. So right after you posted it, there was a huge long discussion between you, me, Alistair, and Stan. So I had to scroll back about three pages to find it. Okay.
Well, the game is set up. Alistair, you're going to go into the room. This a chance for people to actually see the map in action live. I'll just sort of explain while Jim's doing it. When it started out, it was just a chance to make Tasmania basically, and then it became, other than the outline, it's not really like Tasmania at all.
It's close enough.
Oh, wait a minute, am I still showing the internet? Yeah, I am. Oops, I'm showing the wrong thing. I'm just showing my Tom0AD map. Oh, that's ruined it. It's not a surprise anymore. Okay, never mind. Let's get the.
What was the path again, Tom? I'm 0AD mods user maps.
Maps. Then you have to go to.
I've got scenarios, but nothing else.
If you create one there called skirmishes, and that's skirmishes, not skirmishers, and then pop Tasmania. I think the files are called Tasmania 2 _2.
So I spelled skirmishes, right? It's an ES on the end.
Yes, skirmishes.
Yes.
Cool. Right, let's see if that's worked.
So when while I'm waiting to connect to the server, I'm having some kind of problem. I might have to add it to the firewall in here. Jim earlier, when he was talking about the tournaments, reminded me of, I wanted to shout out to HMS Surprise, who
did a great job.
Yes, like that was the very beginning of 0AD tournaments, as far as I can tell, and it was the big impetus for us YouTubers actually getting in contact with each other to begin with. And I don't think this I 100% know, in fact, that this stream would not be happening if it wasn't for HMS Surprise doing all
Yeah,
that work back in the day.
yeah, that's absolutely true. That's how I ended up chatting with you, I think, Alistair. So
Yes, it
yeah,
was.
ah, glorious days back in whenever they were. Uh, I forget when they were. Um,
It was like 2018 or something. It was quite a while
Gee,
back.
feels like another like lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Right,
it the Tasmania game?
that's it.
That's it. Let me see if I can join that.
Hopefully you can. Tasmania game.
I'm just getting connected to server.
Yeah, so am
Do
I.
I
I
need to
think there may be
rehost?
a problem.
Do I need to rehost?
Possibly.
Okay, it's called Wickham's game now. Let's see if that lets people in.
No, it's same again for me. Oh no, I'm in. I'm in.
Oh,
We're
both
getting
of
in
you
now.
are.
Yep.
Jim just beat Alistair. So what
Now
will
I'm seeing Acropolis Bay as the map.
you are?
That's strange. I just see purple or pink.
Yeah, you
I
got
don't
that
know
means
what
you
color
haven't
that
got it
is.
installed. You haven't installed the preview. That's fine. Um, so Jim, in theory, should if you're seeing Acropolis Bay, so it doesn't say bigger Tasmania.
It just says Acropolis Bay. No, Acropolis Bay 2.
Oh, that's not good. Uh, let's just check that path again. So to get in there, the path, and you've put both of the files in, the XML and the other one.
No, I just downloaded the. Hang on, let me go back to what I grabbed. So it was. Oh, okay. So in Discord, I have a PMP file
Yeah,
and
and
then a whole load of code. I should have saved that as a. I should have
so you need the
downloaded that as
PMP
well.
and the XML.
No worries.
Okay, and
Right,
then
that'll be me. Hang on.
okay,
I'm gonna probably have to copy that in, then come out and go back in. So bear with.
if you go out of the room and then come back in, you should be fine.
Right, so I'm out of the room.
At least I hope you are, because I want to get this game going. I'm excited.
In response to Idale Bloomfan, the
Yeah.
way that I imagined the freeze to happen would be that the Alpha 24 code would be on a different branch, and that code would be frozen, and that new other contributors, when they did their pull requests and stuff, it would be towards the Alpha 25 branch. So like code would still be getting into the repository. It just wouldn't be going towards Alpha 24 because that would be finished. That would already be done and ready to go, kind of thing. And in response to Ruben, that's 100% true. Like, and it's probably why in most like corporate software development companies, the PR department is a completely separate department from the development department, and it's just completely different people. And the fact that Stan does both at once is huge. Also, another thing, like I know that in future streams we're hoping to get Stan in to come on and say see more
Which is
from more devs to come in. Like we don't know anything about any of the other developers of this game. We see them on the forums sometimes. That's about it. We know nothing about them. We only know Stan. He's the man. We know nothing about anybody else.
Well, Stan is literally the man, and figuratively as well. So he is absolutely outstanding. I'm just going to ask Jim, is it showing up now?
I am back in. I have the purple square that it says bigger Tasmania, but I don't have the
Right.
preview. But I think I have the purple screen that Alistair was seeing. So I think I'm good.
Okay, then in that case, let's go and play some Tasmania. Are you ready, Alistair? Are you happy with random, by the way, or do you want to pick civs?
It's whatever. It's whatever.
Okay,
Random is completely fine.
it's all go now. So let's find out who has what. Oh, I've drawn the Romans. Wonderful. Exactly what I wouldn't have liked.
Yeah,
Right.
they're not too great right now.
Yeah, they're not having their best of times. Alistair, you're going to have to mute because I need to talk to Jim about what I'm doing, and you would be learning from that.
Oh no. Okay.
No.
I'll mute.
Okay, we'll see you after the
Done.
thing. So Jim, you've not really seen this map before.
This is my first look at the map. I have to say it is quite impressive.
Yeah, a lot of work went into it. So
What was the is you use that same process from your video? You took a height map of Tasmania.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So yeah, literally just took a height map of Tasmania. Took a little bit of messing around with because it needs to be turned into grayscale, and then you have to actually make sure that the height is as it should be, that it does actually do what you want. Because the problem with a lot of the height maps is they start at deep blue, go through green and yellow, and then they get to red as the highest, and that causes issues because when it's turned to grayscale, the red is darker than the
So they give you craters in funny places, I suppose.
yeah,
If you
exactly.
left
So
it,
where you have a
yeah.
mountain, instead you have a sea, which is not ideal. But having played through the map, the idea that I kind of got when I was putting it together is I wanted it to be a thing. You start and you've got limited resources, and there's an area on the north of the map which is absolutely chock-a-block full of resources. And the idea is that you realize that and you go and try and claim those resources. So you have to develop very quickly. If your opponent gets control over those resources, you're in all kinds of trouble, and that's what you need to try and avoid if you can. My cavalry.
Have you tried this out against an AI?
No, I haven't. I've never. I don't think I've played the AI ever in my life actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's I'm not really that interested in computer games against against computers. As strange as that may sound, it never really interested me. Even I used to love Pro Evo and FIFA, but I would only play them against my friends. I wasn't bothered about playing them.
It's for practicing, for practicing your build order or the first 10 minutes of. I tend to like that, but there's no substitute for playing a human. It's the AI just will not behave that way. But as a sort of a practice, I tend to use it a bit.
Yeah, for practicing build orders, checking out what's going to be quickest, stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah, I would 100%. I've done that. But I think beating an AI is just not particularly interesting to me because the AIs are not particularly clever. They just kind of do the same sort of thing all the time, and that doesn't really appeal to me. God, I'm much slower. Actually, it was just an excuse last time because Alistair did hammer me, but I am actually playing really poorly this time. So I've just shown on the screen, you can see the top now, although Jim can see it already. You can see there in the north that there's a load of stone and metal. There is actually a very similar amount in the south, but it's much more scattered. So invariably, people intend to sort of go towards, or they want to colonize that top bit because it's just that much easier to do so. But actually, you can colonize the south of the map just to see. Oh, Alistair's coming for a bit of a raid. Thinks he's pretty smart. Well, his horse is not that smart. He managed to balance very precariously there, which was very impressive. Let's have a look. My cavalry are chasing him out. I'm going to need a barracks very quickly. I need to start upping the rate at which I'm producing, which is abysmal at the moment. I'm 4.5 minutes in. I've only got 35 population. And that's just not up to the standard that's required to beat a player like Alistair.
I am trying not to give any spoilers, but I'm sure I will be blamed if you lose this one as well. But
Oh,
are
absolutely.
there any parts of this map that there's no impassable bits? You can get around the big mountain in the middle on all sides. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
right?
you can. I mean, the fact is that, as I said, people tend to just go towards uh, the the north part. I say people, the only people that have played it are me and Alistair, so that's your people. It's just oh god, I need to build a house. I'm housed and I haven't actually even got the wood to build it. Oh my word, this is dreadful. I'm in big trouble, very big trouble at the moment. 105. Come on, surely they've got enough between them. Only just. Wait a minute, this is dreadful. Okay, I need to build another house, and there's not even anywhere to put it. Right, you guys get that, and I'll get the farmers to build the house.
Something tells me this map of Tasmania is not completely to scale, I think. I
Yeah,
imagined it was a lot bigger.
the mountain is absolutely not. It's just huge, and I don't really know why I left it like that. I just made it absolutely sure. I'm going to try and raid his women while I do something. So at least, oh, oh, here we go. He's got a load of women that were farming towards the back. They're all going to die, or at least a fair few of them are. They've managed to get into houses now. I'll go after the other ones. I think my cavalry may well die, but actually that might just give me some space in my population. I badly need it. Have I got the upgrade yet? I have. Okay. Got plenty
You got
of
four. You
wood.
got four, and then he's gone. There you go.
Well, that's it. Easy come, easy go, isn't it? With these modern cavalrymen. Let's see. Oh, I need to build a house again. Bloody, this is the thing. I'm normally terrible with the bigger houses. Sorry, the smaller houses, but not so bad with the bigger ones. But I've been really not up to it. Not on it at all. So 6.5 minutes or nearly 7 minutes for the population of 50 is pathetic. So
Given given the discussion we had about how the Romans are in Alpha 24, but you know this map intimately, having designed it yourself, what is your master plan to thwart Alistair then?
it's to try and I need to progress very quickly and get that top bit. So if you're playing with like Ptolemies or Seleucus, because you've got the military colony that's that much quicker to get that together, you're in a great position. Unfortunately, I'm not playing as either of those, so it is not possible for me to just go and quickly take that on in the way that I would like.
Your strategy is hopefully not to draw the Romans.
Yeah, basically, I was hoping, yeah, it wouldn't be this because they are dreadful. Is I'm what I can do though, which would be useful, is even as the territory gets taken, I do have the entrenched army camp, so I could maybe use that to launch attacks behind, kind of behind enemy lines. That's my best bet, I think, at this point. So I'm now right. I'm starting to make some kind of headway in terms of a boom now, so that's promising to an extent. Let's see, can I build a house just here? No. Okay. Got plenty of food. I'm now starting to get plenty of wood together. The other thing that I made in the map, that it's kind of a joke to begin with, but actually is incredibly annoying. It does teach you stuff, so it's not like completely pointless. But there are lots of trees that are located in just incredibly irritating positions. So there are like a load of trees that just stop you from building things exactly where you would want, and that was the idea. It makes you be a bit more conscious of how much space you're using than it would otherwise. That was my plan anyway. But when you fall on the wrong side of that, it can be very, very annoying. Now all of a sudden I'm not producing food at the rate that I would like. I'm just getting the farming upgrade. I've got 7 fields. I think we're on a 300 pot, so I'm going to want about 10, maybe 12 fields. But you can see already that these trees where I am are starting to run out. So I'm going to move to the next set of trees. We'll start people moving on their way. Right, let's get this going. And now I've got pikemen. So the pikemen are going to be very important because they will be best placed to deal with Alistair's massed archers. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with those, to be honest. So have I lost yet, Jim? Am I so far behind it's irretrievable?
I would say no spoilers, but no, it certainly isn't lost. It's perhaps a lot tighter than you think.
All right, that's really good. If that's the case, I am very happy. I just need to build.
Were you hoping that Alistair drew a non-archer civ?
Yeah, to be blunt.
Okay, that I can't promise you.
So okay, I know he's got Persians. So I mean, I saw on the thing, but also I noticed from the shape of the houses and things. What I need to be doing is getting myself another barracks up here. I've got a reasonable food income, hopefully, and then get some metal going. Right. I've got the metal upgrade. I've got some additional metal. Let's just start getting metal going, and then also, hopefully, with that, with a couple of barracks, I can get the farming upgrade. I've got 7 fields. I might get an additional one. I'm only 4 away from being housed yet again. So frustrating. Oh, can these guys just build a house in here? Oh, they only can. That's lovely. These little decorative wall things are surprisingly annoying as well.
Why did you go for them? Is this just an aesthetic thing?
Yeah, entirely an aesthetic thing. That's just how silly I was. Oh, they look great. Only to then find that you have to actually attack them to destroy them in order to do a lot of what you would otherwise be looking to do. Right, let's see if I can just get 5 women. 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Right, I need to build another field if I can. I'm sure I just got a spot there where it was going to work. Come on. There we go. These guys, I should be getting metal at quite a decent rate now. Oh gosh, I've done it again. I've got myself housed. This is vintage how not to play. I've got a bit more space up here as well to start putting some houses.
I think when you reach phase 3, your territory, like looking at your territory here, I'm assuming there's that little very narrow pinch point there. It does not spread into that area that you're aiming to get to, I take it, does it? You have to actually expand into it if you want dibs on that territory, yeah?
Absolutely. And with that being, it's quite an easily defendable position because of the way the 2 mountain paths come round.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just clog that up, and that's what Alistair did actually in the game that he recorded and put on YouTube. It was very, very well done. He just had a healer, but because you can't get that many troops through it, it was actually relatively easy for him to hold me off with very little, which was frustrating because it was like, oh, this has got to be done very shortly. But it wasn't. I've just realised I should have built a market by now as well, and I haven't. Let's put a market up. Oh, I need to write these women. So all of the. Oh my word! Does it not fit? Oh, I just found a spot. There we go. So my market's going up right next to the civic centre.
How did you fit that in there? That is good.
It was a very tough.
I was just looking around. I was like, you got no chance. There's nowhere that's going. That's not going on the front line. But you found a gap.
Out of houses again. Come on. Build these houses. Or maybe I could just build out with houses until there comes a point where eventually I've got the capacity to do this. I should have now Yeah, I need to start building outwards in this direction. Oh, I've got loads of groups of people. Okay. Oh, I've got no stone. I'm finally getting some stone together, so let's buy a load of stone. I think that may actually be now sufficient for me to get out here and go and try and claim that thing. Let's see how this works. With any luck, I'm in the game. Come on, guys. Oh, Alistair's got it. Okay, so it's already pretty much game over. I've not really got anything that I can use to take that. Okay, so I'm going to need to defend. All right, let's get some buildings up here to make this a bit more defensible. And what I'll do is I will just wall this area off, or with a fence, actually, not a wall. I've got some additional stone here, which I will utilize. And I'll just try and defend this area. And these, I now need to get these guys really going. So these three, come on. Let's see if we can put up a civic centre out here where Alistair hasn't got to yet. This is the difficulty. See, there's just resources here, there, and everywhere, which mean that there's not quite the place to put it. So let's build a tower to try and claim a little bit of extra territory.
What made you go down the route of map design then, Tom?
I just fancied it. I thought I've tried to use the Atlas thing before and quite enjoyed it, and so I just thought, oh, I'll see what my 63 shorthand of the. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out what I need to do to get myself to the next phase. But I just wanted to get. I just thought it'd be interesting to do. I saw there was that import thing and wondered, because there's not really a lot of good information on how you actually do it. I found that frustrating. So when I kind of put a lot of work into figuring it out, I thought, well, having now got there, like, I should make a video on this and let other people know, because there must be lots of people that are in the same position where they think, oh, I've got an idea for a map, or I'd like to make a map of, my hometown, my home country, or whatever, and then it would hopefully take them through and give them that opportunity. God, this is
Awesome.
a nightmare. Right, I'm gonna have to try and chop down some of these trees in order to create the space to allow me to go, but I fear I could be getting rams or elephants coming at me at any point here, and also running out of resources. Let's get these guys going. Okay, so another house. I'll just build a storehouse on the end and start chopping, and then after that, if Alistair claims both sides, then I am definitely screwed. So I've allowed him to have that one. I can see his territory. So let's see what happens. Oh dear, these guys are running out of wood. What can I build here? Let's build a temple and another barracks, if I can, which I can. Oh, or I could a second ago. I've now managed to lose that. Okay, I'm at phase 3. Now's the time. Right, I can build that entrenched army camp, which will be good. Oh gosh, look at the people, where they're all going. Let's get some of these trees out. So I can actually build.
So there isn't room for a CC just beyond the wood line, or is that too close to Alistair, basically?
He's already claimed that territory. I need to basically get rid of these trees that are right here. But the people are making odd choices of which trees they want to cut down. I've got a load of idle people as well. Oh, here he comes. Let's put up a... Am I going to be able to take these guys? I'm not sure I am, actually. There's just hundreds of them. Yeah, there's just too many. I
That's
need
a
these
lot of
trees.
archers.
It is, and I need these trees to be gone, and they're not gone. Damn it, this is the problem. You can't be this slow. That's exactly what the map is supposed to teach, is that you can't be this slow. But it's a very painful lesson in that situation. How much wood is left in this tree? Loads. He's coming in, and I've got nowhere to build a civic center. I've got nowhere to build a... Oh, these guys still haven't even managed to start these things because there's too many of them running on the spot. They've got... Oh, those guys are just dying. Everyone's just dying. I don't know what exactly to do here, actually.
Garrison the tower.
Yeah,
There we go.
That's the first thing. I've managed to do that, but...
And then hide. That's
Yeah,
it.
bloody hell, come on. Siege workshop. Let's get one of those up. That's... In lieu of something that I would like, let's have a siege workshop. But now I'm going to be struggling to collect wood. These guys have finally looked like they might have built something. Okay, champions will be good. I like champions. Let's get some of those going. Come on, dudes, get to the siege workshop. Stop messing around. But these guys have run out of metal, so they have to try and claim this little metal here, if they can. And I need... Oh, I so badly need this tree gone. Let's get... bolt shoot? Yeah, bolt shoot. No, rams. Right. 5 rams is my only chance, I think, here. These guys are trying to claim a bit of extra wood. And I am very, very short of wood. Oh, that is not good. But with any luck, his archers... Okay, he's just going to stand there. I'm not in a position to do much about that, unfortunately. Is he going to try and come in? He is. Oh, no. I think it's going to be 2 for 2 with Alistair. There's no way around this. I've done a dreadful, dreadful job on this. Let's see if... And my guys are just running to their deaths, and I haven't got any wood to replace them. Where are these blimmin'... 42 seconds still coming. Still to wait. Oh, what are you doing, guys? Stop it! Okay,
Have you trapped them all between... Can they get past the siege workshop? Oh, they can. Just about.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that his guys lose. Come on, surely you're going to lose some men in this fight, aren't you? They just seem to be having a wonderful time. How are none of them dead? They're aiming... They should
You'll
fall between 2
get in a
towers.
few from the towers, but...
Yeah, that's it. The towers should be taking them out.
Yeah, they are...
There's the rams, and they're not going to be able to get past. That's going to be so frustrating.
Are they going to get stuck by a tree?
They are going to get stuck by his guys, I think. Oh my word, they can't get past.
Is it your tower that's blocking them in?
It may well be. I can't... They're kind of... I hate this when this happens. They all try and go, and that means that they get in one another's way. Come on, surely you can get past. You just need to go straight. How are you not able to do it? It's like his guys are causing the problem. They're just stood there, and I can't get past the guys. So once they're dead, but sadly it's taken so long for them to get there that I'm not in a position to do much about it. Come on. I mean, one of them's going backwards, trying desperately to do something. And this is the tree. I just need to get rid of this tree.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the Romans did not capture
Yeah.
Tasmania.
Yeah, nothing to do with the distance.
The
fact they had no
distance.
idea it existed. It's that there were trees stopping their rams going through. Look at that ram is just refusing to move. It doesn't know where to go. Got a couple
Can
of
you not
guys.
reverse it up? It won't go anywhere.
Here we go. I should finally be able to build something now. And somehow I can't. Come on. Attack these guys. He's coming in. Come on, rams. Go through. What are they doing? Please, just find a spot and build the blimmin' CC. Is that another tree? Ah, I swear I've built CCs here before. Maybe it's the Roman one's annoyingly just too big. It looks like there's no spot that it will fit. Okay, maybe it's not possible. Which, yeah, it turns out that you probably shouldn't play as Romans if it's not possible as Romans to actually do anything. Because that seems a bit unfair if you can't actually build your civic centre. I've got rams going in, but I've got no one supporting them. So the rams, if he's got any... Ah, here they come. He's coming in through the north. He's got elephants. Let's just take the elephants. He's got a lot of them coming. My rams are being stopped by archers, which is frustrating. Because they're just standing there.
They're taking a terribly convoluted route around your houses. They're literally going around the houses
Surely
to
some of these
get there.
elephants can die. We must be able to kill the elephants, surely. Please tell me. Oh, the rams are finally going. Take out the CC. And I've got a ram stood in the light again. It's my own troops this time. It's trapped. Soldiers, get out of the way of the blimmin' ram. Come on, and the last one has just stopped. Got bored. What are you doing going away? Oh, take out the barracks then if you can't bother to take out the civic centre. How is it possible that my soldiers are just standing in front of the ram and it can't find its way around them? Okay, I don't think there's a way around this for me now. Oh, looks like Alistair's done something. Are these guys? What are they doing? Yeah, that's a shame. The draw of the combination of the fact I can't believe that the Roman CC is so big that it can't actually be built. That is a problem with the map design. There's no other CC that's had that problem.
What have the Romans ever done for us?
Yeah, well, it turns out they can't make things. I've got no wood. Congratulations, Alistair. So I will... Yeah, that was an impossible task, unfortunately. So as you can see in the north, it's got a lovely load of resources. But the whole... Yeah, the idea of the map as I was developing it was that it would force you to develop very quickly and to get a
I think it's just you need to make some of the walkways a bit more forgiving for, like you said, territory civs like the Romans. It looks like a lot of fun.
yeah.
So I am going to give that a go, I reckon. I think the Britons would love it. They're little compact buildings.
Yes.
I think that would be awesome. But yeah, obviously it's not built for the Roman army.
No, it really wasn't. I mean, the thing is, yeah, the whole point of you come out and expand because it's got because you need that extra space. There's not actually a lot of space in your home base. It's just unfortunate that it got to that point. Let's just have a look quickly at the units train. So it was kind of even, except towards the end, and then Alistair got his elephants going, and unfortunately I unplugged my headphones at part of the way and then replugged them in, and that meant that I lost all my sound from the game. That is annoying. I don't know if that's other people find that as well, but yeah, if your thing gets detached, your headphones, you plug them back in, and the game is still there, then that's it. Nothing much. You don't get
I've
any game
never
sound
found that. I've
anymore.
found if it's routing to the if it's routing to the headphones and you want it routing out to speakers and you change it in Windows, it never changes in the game. You have to come out of the game back in. But I've
Yeah,
never actually tried unplugging my headphones during a game to see what happens.
yeah, don't do it.
Uh,
I've only
I
ever,
will. I will remember that.
yeah, I've only done it by mistake. I didn't actually intend to do that. Then I just nudged it. I've got not enough USB ports, so I've got loads of USB things plugged into adapters, and that I just nudged it sufficiently that it considered it had like pulled it out and gone back in, and then I lost sound. So I'm going to blame that. I was chatting to Jim. I had the Romans, and on top of that, I lost my sound. And also, Alistair played much better than me, but that was kind of a minor aspect of it.
So that's
But
the back.
No, you had everything working against you, man. Legit. Like I understand that I will completely give that game to circumstance and not to me.
yeah, the frustrating thing was, I'll load it up. Um, I was just we talked previously about mods and things, and something that I just made it in what do you call it, in this thing, Excel, and now I've lost it. I didn't put it where I thought I had in the live stream stuff. Where did I put it? It was obviously supposed to be in the live stream stuff. I'm gonna have to have a quick look. Oh, here he is. So I'm just, if I can load this up, and hope I'll share it to you guys as well if I can. How do I? Oh gosh, now I can't even find Hangouts. How do I share on Google Hangouts?
It's the three dots in the top right hand corner, and then you go share screen.
Got it. Okay, application window, Excel, share. Excel is opening. Right, and hopefully, if and when it actually finishes opening, and come on, do it. Yeah. Right, it's got. So what I made, I'm just going to try and get this if I can. Right.
You're not sharing at the moment.
You'll have to share it again now that it's loaded, I guess.
Oh, what, is it not working for you guys?
It waited until it loaded in, then stopped sharing.
Oh, brilliant. Well done, game. Well done. Is it there now?
That's better.
Okay, right. So the whole point is it's one of the things that frustrates me about the game, and I don't know why no one's put it in a mod, but in Age of Empires when I used to play it, you could have a mirror match where you have random factions, but you make sure you both get the same faction. And so that is like my plan. That's what I was hoping to get into the game. So prior to that, I just made it by programming. I say programming, that's very um, grand way of saying I just wrote a little thing in VBA to do the randomizing. So this is it. What you do is you put either a Y or an N to say what you want to randomize. So you can randomize your faction, your population size, and the biome. And then you put X's in the ones that you want to be included in that list. So what we could have done, for instance, is said that we only want a mirror match, and we want it to be only including like the archer civs and maybe the Seleucids, let's say. So that'll be Persians, Mauryas, Carthaginians at a push, Seleucids, Kushites. So we want it to be somewhere between 200 and 300, and let's just turn the biome off. We don't really care about the biome, let's say. And then you run the randomizer, and I've still got factions on no, but it says my population size is going to be 300. So let's put this back to Y. So there we go. Your mirror match faction is Kushites and your population size is 250. So if someone can make this be in an option in the game setup screen, I think it would be really useful because random, when you include all the civs, you might want to exclude Romans, for instance, because they're awful. Um, or you might want to exclude the very best factions because you want to try out some different things. So, yeah, I meant for us to do that when we actually before we played the game to make sure we do a mirror match.
This is becoming a feature in itself on your stream. This is the part of the show we call Tom breaks out a spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's a good
every
spreadsheet.
time.
That's it. Well, I had a much better or much more interesting spreadsheet. I've been mapping basically trying to work out mathematically the most effective distribution of your villagers at the early stages to make sure that you are producing basically at your maximum. So I started charting the how long it's so you say how long it takes, for instance, to train 5 soldiers, and then say that I think that's about, I don't know, 40 seconds. So that means every 40 seconds you need to be producing 250 food, also 250 wood, say if you're trying to produce soldiers, and an additional 150 wood because you need, or 75 wood rather, because it'd be for a 5-person house in that period. So looks at the collection rates, then takes a standard deposit time of say 2 seconds per trip, and looks at the best way that you can produce your army to get the maximum of that. And that's what I was doing, and that's more interesting. But I'm going to save that for the next one, I think, because we had the poll to say what we wanted the theme to be, and the theme was that one was the tier list this time, but second, and a very close second in the end, was sort of the maths behind 0AD, and that's kind of what I meant by that in terms of how
You
you
do not know
optimize
how relieved I am the maths didn't come up. I was just like, all right, it's the maths. Tom,
Yeah.
spreadsheet. I'm going off for, I'm going to have a vape and I'm going to disappear.
Well, you could do that next time. You could just run off. It's going to happen. At some point, I had like nice charts and everything, charting how much you're producing and at different points. I also wanted to look at, and this is potentially incredibly dull, but if you produce people at, say, one at a time, how does your wood affect it? Because if you think about it, if it takes, say, to produce 5 people in one go, say, for instance, takes 40 seconds, or you can produce them all individually at 50 seconds. So how much additional wood would you have for that extra 10 seconds? How much more wood have you collected? Because those soldiers come out from the civic center. So the first one after 10 seconds, then he has 40 seconds to collect wood. And so what's the optimal in that sense as well? Because yeah, you can save 10 seconds, but then you're short of wood for actually produce more soldiers and to get the thing up. And I have noticed some of the very best players using individual, not producing in batches at all, and possibly for that reason.
Yes.
Thanks, Alistair.
At the very least, at the beginning of the game, like I noticed that the higher level players would maybe only make a batch of 2 or 3 at the start and then increase their batch size as the game went on.
Yeah, which I wonder that, because I think if you're going to get a really strong build order, then knowing what the best impact is going to have to maximize that. If we take the example, I'm not sure you would have heard it, but Jim was pointing out in the game between you and Yekaterina, Alistair, that she sent one person to build the farmstead while her other 3 villagers collected berries. So, how much more food has she collected rather than 4 people building the farmstead? At that early point in the game. How much have you saved?
Yeah, no,
with the
that is
farmstead?
something. Yeah.
It seemed to, in terms of food, so what she was stockpiling quite a lot of food. That seemed to work. I think just needs to apply the same theory and thinking to wood gathering. Certainly in that game, that was that was where it fell apart, wasn't it? The food got that covered, I reckon.
Yeah, she
But it
certainly
was,
did. From food coming out of her ears, it was
yeah.
yeah, phenomenal effort in terms of getting that together. So she did very well. And she certainly put up a bigger fight against Alistair than I did. So well done in that sense. But you've had a pretty decent, I was going to say evening, but it's morning for you, Alistair, isn't it? So you've won a couple of games today.
Are
So well
you
done.
unbeaten on the stream so far, Alistair?
I think you lost the first
Yes.
game to Depict, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, you mean in the streams? Yeah, no, I did lose to Depict.
You
Yeah,
did lose to Depict, yeah.
And actually,
yes.
Jim, he lost to you, didn't he, by not scouting before your internet dropped out. So
I still
Yes.
feel loath to claim that.
it's
What kind of a man would I be if I claimed that as a victory?
yeah, well, he certainly it was yeah, it was probably just an aborted game. Well, it was definitely an aborted game, but it was an interesting one to start off with. Um, but on that note, it is now rapidly approaching 10:30. Is there anything that you guys would like to say about what you've got coming up? I've not got a video coming up this Sunday because I'm doing this. My videos will start again in a week's time. So, what are you guys got planned for the next short period of time in terms of videos? Well, certainly before the next stream. And now's
Your supercomputer.
Yes, it's
No.
having a problem. The hardware extra before it demolished everything, so I'll be spending the day fixing that up. And if that works, I'll probably have some 0AD out soon. I do have some Black Mesa playthroughs already scheduled to go live over the course of the week, but they're they are incredibly. It's an incredibly niche audience for those.
yeah, it is. How about you, Jim?
Interesting times. It is typical. I've now got a mod which is evolving all the time. The chap on the forums, Langbart, who's made this thing. There's been about 9 different versions of it, of which I've only been able to use 2 of them between commentaries because I go back into the forums and he's produced another 3 versions. And it's like, slow down. The next one is going to be incredible. We are breaking down. We've gone from just having populations and resources. We've now got, cavalry and infantry. We may be breaking it down further, and it feeds back into the champions. The game I just did, I didn't realize straight away just how many champions the guy had produced and how it won him the game. So possibly it will be recording champions being created as well, and it is making the games more exciting. We've just had possibly in terms of the single day, and it's relative. It's nothing compared to the vast audiences that you put in, Tom. But we've just had the most the most highest day for individual views and watch time in the channel's short history. So things are heading the right way, and it's an exciting time. There is a big game coming out on Sunday. I think it possibly might be featuring Borg. I don't cover Borg very often, but I've had a couple of people submit a few games that feature it. So it may well be a Borg match on Sunday, a team game. So I am really looking forward to that. I have not even seen it yet, but I'm going to be doing the commentary probably tomorrow, and that will be going live on Sunday.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. I've just noticed I've had a warning that something's going wrong with the video. So based on that, it's probably best to call it a day. It's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, which is weird. So
It was your spreadsheet that did it.
yeah, I have closed that because I thought, well, maybe that's it. And I can see that it is. I've just put the stream on my phone, so I can see it going, and I can see that it has stopped. The sparkling has stopped. So the magic spreadsheet, maybe that warning that you always get when you try and open a macro-enabled spreadsheet, that this could be a virus. Maybe it was. Inadvertently, I wrote that and have now killed the stream. So yeah, on that on that note, thank you very much to both of you. It's been a lot of fun again. It's now 10:30, so if you guys want to say goodbye, then I can say, oh, the stream is healthy. The stream health is excellent now. It's just come back, just in time to say goodbye. So off you go, guys. Give a nice goodbye. Ding.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Alistair for winning.
Yeah,
What was it, 2 out of 2?
2 out of 2.
So superb performance there, and it's been a lot of fun.
It has. And Alistair,
Yes, no, thank you very much for organizing the stream. Like there has been a lot of work put into it, like behind the scenes. Like, you've made all the intros and got all the sounds ready, and you've done a very good job, and I appreciate the effort being put in to further promote the wonderful cause which is 0AD.
brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Alistair. I appreciate that, and I'm sure Zero A is a wonderful cause. The date of the next stream, I'll just say, will be sometime in whenever the first Friday in May is. Looks like that falls on the 7th. Ooh, so a long wait this time, 5 weeks. And it will probably be on the maths of 0AD, but I'll run a separate poll as well. Just like to say again, thank you so much to Jim and Alistair who make the stream what it is. It wouldn't be remotely fun if it was just me chatting into space. So yeah, thank you again to both of you, and also to everyone that watched. And that's it. Obrigado e adeus. Ciao.